Hello and welcome. We are here today to do some Nuxt code. Now, it's been a while since I've really used it, but here we go. Here's the website. It is looking absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to lie. And we're going to see what we can get done. If you are familiar with Nuxt or front-end technology in general, then enjoy watching me suffer. If you're used to my code, then you know what's coming. There's going to be a lot of mistakes, but we're going to have some fun. Hello in the chat. Let's get going. What I'm going to do is I found, oh, what's that? Background noise. Oh, feeding some ducks. Let's focus in on the code and let's see what we can get done. I'm going to disconnect my headset. I can join in with the music and have some fun. Right, so Nuxt. But you could watch the What is Nuxt video, but I already know what Nuxt is. I've been using it for quite a long time. I'm just going to make sure that isn't too loud. There we go. That should be a little bit nicer. So I've already got a project set up. Here we go. We've got a nice Nuxt app. If we come down to the Nuxt Dev Tools, I've got Tailwind, ShadCN, Color Mode, and Superbase all installed already. So I can connect to a database, which is over here. I can go do my business, find out what I need to do. Nuxt Tailwind comes with this really cool kind of, I can have a look at this and I can copy that. I can go look at these heights, different heights, and figure out which size is going to be right for me. Lots of cool things. So let's say the delay is like 200 milliseconds. The duration is 500. It's got some really cool stuff on here, right? It's like, this means I don't have to jump to the Tailwind docs every time I need to figure something out. So that's Nuxt. This is ShadCN, way to build your component library, and it's pretty darn cool, I have to admit. It was originally built for React, but it's been ported to Vue by the Radix Vue team. I'm going to have a look at something like this because I think this would be really cool. Probably not going to be for like a music app, but it's going to be something, right? It's still quite loud. There we go. So you can go click to view the code, and then what we can do, this example here, we can just kind of grab this and just drop it all in there. So let's just do that for now. Let's go to our project. And we have got this all configured so far. So my Nuxt config, we've got our modules, we've got the color mode with a class suffix, ShadCN. I'm running on port 4000 because on port 3000, I believe I have still got this. My little open web UI stuff. So where was I? We want it to look like this because I want to be able to have things on the side and have things in the middle, and it's going to look fantastic. Well, that's the plan anyway. So let's just close that down. Let's focus in on the comments. Have we explained what Nuxt is? I have not. I'm just assuming most people know. So it's basically a full framework on top of Vue.js. So instead of like using Vue.js on its own and then running, figuring out all of the intricate bits of building like a proper full stack application, Nuxt has done that for you on top of their Nitro engine and all of the other magic stuff that we've got going. And if you want to know what Nuxt is, 100% recommend checking out this video. It is probably the best explanation of what Nuxt is. I'm just going to drop that up on the screen in a second. So go check out that video. It is 100% something you should be looking at. Right, so let's come over to here. I'm going to grab this code again, and I'm going to just copy all of that file, and we're going to come over to here, and we're going to create a new page, and we're going to call it test. Now, I've installed this Nuxt module, which allows me to come to a directory like this and click on, say, new page, and I want this to be called test. That will then create this page for me, set up with a default way, basically. I'm just going to drop all of that in. Okay, so what I need to do is start fixing some of this. Let's just drop all of that in. This has got like data for albums and data for playlists, and I will probably just copy a lot of that over to start with. That is so this lib registry New York is not what I want. I want to grab all of that and just say components, because that is going to be shad cn. These icons, I'm not 100% sure where to get that from right now, so I'm just going to comment that out. Yeah, that's good. Awesome. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a new folder called data, and we're going to create an albums.typescript file. And then we will probably want a playlists.ts. So playlists.ts. That should resolve this. So let's, actually it's not exporting anything yet, so we'll come back to that bit in a second. Why at versus dot? So I personally, when I'm doing anything like that, instead of let's go for this one here. So instead of saying from the current directory, go back a directory, then go into data, and then go to playlists, I've got a prefix where I can say, basically, in my compiler options for TypeScript, I've got a path, which is @/ and that will go to like the current directory, in effect. So it makes it a little bit nicer for me to use. Let's come back to Arc, and what I'm going to want to do, I'm just going to copy a lot of this code, and then we're going to tweak it as we go. So that, I believe, was albums. Yep. And then come back to Arc, and we're going to grab playlists. Drop that in there. That means that these should be okay. So if I say data playlists, it's not picking it up yet, but it will do, hopefully. Okay, so now I need to add some components. So what I will do is I will grab these components, so like the album artwork. We'll just get this visible so then I can play with it a little bit. Here's a shadcn components, but what I want is a new component within here called album artwork. So it's like components, I can come down to album artwork, and I might reformat some of this a little bit later on. That plus circle icon is going to get me, isn't it? It's going to get me. Let's just ignore that for now. And what we've also got, we can say data albums and data playlists, libutils, and then this is components, context menu, that's all good. That's album artwork. Next, we're going to want the menu. So let's go grab that menu. And the way to see Shad CN is a little bit like how you might see Tailwind UI. It's similar, but the idea of Shad CN is that you literally just copy out all of the code, reuse the code, and do what you need to do with that code itself. That's the idea. Yes, I'm going to be using Supabase for authentication. It's because it's easier, right? And especially when you're on the front end, you want to kind of just give that off to something else that you don't have to worry about. Podcast empty placeholder.view. Right, try and remember that name. So now we can say new component, podcast empty placeholder. Drop that in there. Fix this up. So we're going to have a lot of components that we need to install. Then finally, sidebar. Oh, sidebar. 2 A's. Right, let's rename that. Let's go make sure that all this is coming through correctly. There we go. That's good. So far, so good. Right, we are going to get some complaints. So let's just run dev and see what it complains about. So we've got menu bar, context menu. So npx, we can install the menu bar. That will then download from ShadCN and add it over here. So in components UI, we will now have a menu bar. We're also going to want the context menu. So we can say context menu. That will appear over here. Then we can add that scroll area. And then finally, we're going to add the dialog. And that part is done. So now if we run pm dev, let's see if we get complaints now. Oh, Pinlink, I do apologize. There you go, people. Sorry. I do apologize. Okay, so we also need to get the input. There's another one that we need to add. Let's go see what else we might need while we're waiting. Got the menu bar. Pretty sure we got button. Input, we're going to want a label. So anything in the sidebar, we've got scroll area, got all of those. Awesome. Now if we come back to pages and tests, that is all coming from somewhere else. We're going to want tabs. We're also going to want the separator as well. So let's also go ahead and get the separator. Right, now we can run our dev script, and hopefully that should be all of them. Complain about some Postgres stuff, but I'm not too worried about that. Now let's go to test and see what it looks like. Okay, it looks pretty useless. So what we want, let's ignore all of that for now, nothing that's standing out. So this app here, what we want this to be is a Nuxt page. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a new page in there called index. Let's just undo that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to grab that. We're going to put that inside that index here. Probably won't need that, but we will want that. So we come back. We've got this, and then if we go to the test route, we do actually have what we're going to want. So let's zoom in a little. View appearance. Can I zoom in at all easily? Yes, I can. So here we go. I can zoom in. All is good. We've got lots of stuff going up the top. And we've got this bit. All of that. All of this is coming from somewhere. And we can start building out routes and stuff like that. So we have progress, people. We have got ShadCN in there, ready to go. This can flick through for the tabs, which is super awesome. So what do I want to do with this? So first off, let's come over to this test part here. So ignoring all of those squiggles, because it should find them. This image can go. We're just going to say that this is always block, so that when this scrolls down, we should still see it, which is good. Don't know where the sidebar's gone. We'll worry about responsiveness in a little while. So this is our main app here. And if I get rid of the menu, that top menu is now gone, which is kind of what I want. So I want to remove that menu because it's not something I want to add. So I can remove that, which is great. Then we've got this sidebar here. We'll worry about responsiveness a little bit later. Background, border top, block. So basically all of that can be moved out to a layout. So if we come to layouts, we can create a new layout, and we're going to call it default because that is kind of what would happen. So let's just remove all of that and block, border top, background. We're going to want this, that, and then within here, we're going to have a slot. So that slot will then load in this view, meaning that our view can be simplified to just that. And we will just drop all that back, and we are good. So coming back to Arc, still looks the same, still pretty happy. Now this navigation over here, this will be our application or website navigation. And then this will be like the main content stuff going on. But what we could also do is if we come back and look at some other things, we could add cards, create a dashboard, some sort of email client or blocks. See if there's anything that stands out. Nothing's standing out for what I want to do right now. But all of these you can literally just grab, and it's just fantastic that you can do that. So I'm going to come and go to Tailwind UI, and I'm going to grab like maybe not a hero, something, maybe like a feature section, something like this. So let's just copy that for now and come back to code. So then we can come to components, and we can just say, let's create a new home, and we're going to create a new component called hero. So here's our home hero, and let's just drop all of that in there. Now this, we're just going to set to the background, and over here, this is where we're starting to get all of the fun stuff. Height full, cool, tabs. Default value is music. So maybe above this. Let's see if that will automatically load in. No, it is not. So we're going to import home hero from components home hero.view. Now if we come back to Arc, oh, no match location. We're going to start the rebuild process. I've not quite figured out the best way to do some of this. So, heroicons. Okay, so pm add heroicons view, and we're also going to add headless UI view as well. Now while that installs, let's come back to Arc and let's go have a look at some more stuff. So Supabase auth is super simple. I'm probably going to use that a little bit later to add like an admin style panel, just for fun. We're going to go and create some databases at some point, or some tables. But what we want to do here is you can look at the styling transitions. Transitions would be super cool. So you can do page transitions. That is what I want. I want some page transitions. 100% need page transitions because they look so cool. Copy that. All right, so now let's come back to here. What I've noticed is a lot of the, actually, I think I can create like an app.config.ts, but I'm not. I'm just going to stick this in here for now. Right, so in our main layout, we want to add a style block for some page transitions. So over here, we are going to add this style block and just, okay, apparently I copied the whole thing. There we go, we're going to add all that. I've noticed a lot of the kind of front end world at the minute, there's so much copy and paste involved. Out in, cool. Okay, so that should have done a lot of its stuff. So now I can pm dev, come back to Arc, and let's go have a look to see if we've got what we want. We have. Fantastic. So that obviously looks a bit rubbish. So we can come back through and we can start to just fill some of this out. We're going to do this as foreground. Set some text foreground there, some text foreground there, and there. And we'll keep that image for now. There we go. Looking good, looking good. So come back to code, and what we'll do instead of that image there is we want to, I'm not sure if you can see this very well. There we go. NPX. What we want to do is Nuxty module add, and we're going to add the Nuxt image module because it works really, really well. What the Nuxt image module will allow you to do is it just kind of optimizes images for you as it loads, and you can then configure providers and do lots of really cool stuff. All right. Now run that dev script again. And instead of having an image tag there, we can say Nuxt image. Actually, we could probably remove that and just say Nuxt image. There's a source. We can then just drop that like this. Drop this down to a new level. Width and height. And I believe you can do things like loading as lazy. So if we have a look at, not that, really sure components on the page. Let's just tweak this settings. There we go. So component tree. Inside the Nuxt page, we've got a router view, transition, base transition. There's a page. Inside the hero, we've got this Nuxt image. Decoding. Loading is lazy. Placeholders. And what you can do is you can start to really understand what's going on. So let's now make this a little bit more customizable, right? So this looks great, but you know, all of these features, I don't want to have it so static. So all of these features there, what I'm going to do is let's ignore that. I don't want that. So then what I'm going to do is we no longer need that. We also don't need the icons. So we're basically going to have some content here, which we want to be able to customize. And this is the kind of the hero on the page. So this bit is what I see as like an announcement, perhaps. Then you got the heading and then you got the message. So you've got announcement, heading, and message. So we can go and define some props. Const props is define props. And we will use TypeScript. So we're going to say that announcement is going to be a string. That can be a lowercase string. Come on, stop giving me uppercase. Then we are going to have a heading as a string. Actually, I think I need to do it like that, don't I? Heading string. And then we're going to have a message also as a string. So up here, we're going to say props.announcement, props.heading, and then props.message. What I will do is I'm going to switch this to the H1 of the page. I'm going to keep that as a H3 and keep that as a P there. So then on our page here where we've got this hero, what we want to do is if we say, you know, this is optional, and we will just say the if props.announcement. So we're just going to conditionally wrap that and then you display it if we need it. And we'll start with the heading, some awesome heading, and then set the message to be, this is the message content. Come back to Arc. Apparently, I've broken something. Apparently, I broke it. This is what happens when I write code that I don't understand. What's going on, people? Spot my mistakes. Come on. You lot know this stuff better than me. Spot my mistakes. Tell me where I'm going wrong. Okay, so apparently I can't type today either. There we go. What's going on with these plots? Oh, wait. I spotted my mistake before you. Haha! Not very often that happens. So there we go. We've got some awesome heading and the message. This is a message content. So then if we go back and say in our page itself, and we say something like, the announcement is going to be from YouTube, it then appears, and we're good. We got what we want. So let's have a look at this hero again. So what we've got going on is this whole thing here. We kind of want, that's a grid. Then we've got our content on the left and the image on the right. So what we want on this is we want this to be flex, items, center, and let's just justify center as well. Just let's see how awful that looks for now. Okay, it doesn't. I thought that would look a lot worse. Yeah, who spotted it? Who spotted it? Benjamin. Lang equals TS. Yes. I did it wrong, okay? It's me and not an API, so it's always going to be wrong. So there's the playlist stuff. Then we've got the hero. That is centered reasonably, so let's just put that at the start. No. What's justify do? Let's justify that at the start and come back to arc. There we go. That's what I want it to be. I want it to be like this. So I don't know. Let's quickly grab an image from somewhere. This one for API platform. That's what I'll use. So come over to developer website, and then inside public, I'm just going to drop that in there so that on here, what I also want to be able to do is say image is going to be a string, and then alt is also going to be a string. Then we can replace this with props.image, and then replace this with props.alt, like so. So then over here on my hero, I can then say that the image is, let's just make sure the naming is correct, underscore. And that the alt is API platform conference announcement. And back to arc, and bang, there we go. We got something. Yeah, it bugs me as well, Benjamin. Like, I would love to be able to do global lang so that I don't have to declare on every single one. It's so painful. So like we can then obviously do a hell of a lot more with this if we want to. We could do something like a skew 30, I think might work. No? Transform I can never remember. Let's go have a look at Tailwind CSS. And let's just search for skew. Skew. Which one do I want? I like a skew Y12. There we go. Let's add that in and see how that looks in Arc. Bang! That's kind of cool. Like, I mean, you could probably add things like animate onto it. Let's just open up the Tailwind config quickly. I mean, you're probably going to want keyframes. Keyframes, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm just trying to play. Okay, so let's come back to that. That is in there. I probably don't want it to be like that much. Let's come back here. And have I got the Tailwind extension? How have I not got the Tailwind extension installed? Like, how is that possible? So here we go. Now on my hero, I should be able to kind of get a little bit more information as I'm building it. So let's say 6. There we go. That's a little bit cooler. That'll do. So next up, so we've got this big heading, so some content there, and then we've got a big image. And as we scroll down, we're going to have some stuff. I don't know why that's scrolling so much. What is going on? That bit there, that H full is what's causing the issue from the looks of it. That is coming from here. This bit, that H full, seems to be making it just go on forever. That's better. There we go. We've got a console error for something. Your project has layouts, but the Nuxt layout component has not been used. So I am doing something wrong. So let's change this to a Nuxt layout like that. Come back to Arc. That should now be a little bit better. It's going to complain about stuff. Hydration mismatch on some stuff, but that's nothing I'm worried about right now. Now come back to code, and what I want to do is also add in the Nuxt loading indicator, so that when I switch between pages, it will, look better. Basically, that's what I'm going for there. So let's come back to our code, and what do we want to do? That is the layout thing resolved. These tabs I will probably look at soon. Add music. I don't really want to do any sort of add music-y stuff. Have content. That's all good. There's a scroll area. Made for you. Another scroll area. Tab content. New episodes. Podcast empty play. Okay, so cool. We've got something. We're getting somewhere. So we no longer have that annoying button that I didn't want. So what I'm going to do, these are actually going to be articles. So I'm going to basically turn this into my personal site and make it fun. Just see how it looks. So what we want to do, actually, we'll do it this way. So let me run dev, come back to Arc. So you've got different ways that you can install these components and modules, sorry. And I'm going to add another one this way because it's a little bit nicer. I want to add the content. So I can just click install and it will just do that in the background for me. What does that do? Ooh. So that's installing content latest, it's resolving components. You can look at your runtime config stuff. Get some payload stuff. And then it reloads. I love that it does this. This is just so cool. Whee! Right, so now I've got the content module installed. I can go and start using it. So I believe you can go to like content.nuxt.com. So Nuxt content is basically, look, there's even a video. Nuxt content is a way to do just good content, really. If I come to code, what I can then do is say, let's collapse all of those. I can go and create a new folder and say content. Then within there, I can do something like articles, 00 test, and then within there I'm going to do like a new file, and we're going to call that index.md. Title, test article, description can then be, this is the test article description. And here we can do something like this is the markdown content. Like that. So then what we can do is, if we come back to Arc, what we are able to do is like query content, query builder, blah, 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 query content articles. What can we do? Content directory, rendering content. So we can do, just drop that in for content doc, content renderer. I don't want to add search, experimental, content. Okay, I'm going to add that because that sounds cool. It sounds like it'll be useful, right? Adding search. There you go, let's just add that and come back to Arc. So what I want to do is simple search, custom search, configuration, fetch navigation, custom keys. Oh, okay, so I can add things like that in there. That's kind of funky. Nested TypeScript support. What I want is just a way to like fetch my content, really. It's got to be a quick and easy way to do this. Create content, render pages. So I guess I've got to do this query content. So let's just grab that and see what it's going to do. So over in this part here, what we're going to want, we can now remove that, which is nice. We can also remove the button, which is also cool. All the others are still being used. Awesome. So we are going to get async data for articles. I don't even know what half of this is doing right now. Find all, I'm assuming, is available. So let's come back to Arc and let's go see what's like. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's come over to here and let's go look at the component stuff and let's see if we were able to get what we wanted. Data. It wasn't in there, was it? I hope not. Okay, so I should have something in there. So const data. Let's just console.log that data. See where it's going to turn up. Right, so collapse that. I don't want that. Go away. Am I getting anything coming through? I can't see anything. Query content. Find. Does find just fetch and return a list of matched content based? I can just do that. That's kind of handy. Okay, so let's just do that. And then from there, I should be able to loop over the content, I'm assuming. So let's go and have a play. Let's have a play. So this is a playlist stuff. Hero, tab music, blah, 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 tab content, listen now. Right, so instead of doing album artwork like that, I'm going to do a template. Actually, no, I can probably do a div there. Div class of, we'll do the same, say 250 pixels, like that, and then we will do, just drop that in there, make sure it's visible. That is there, awesome. So let's come back to our code and say that we want to do a v4 article in data. That's not what I want to call it though. Articles. Let's come back and say in articles, and we will just fix that typo and let's just see what we get. Hopefully we got what we need. Yes, path, directory, draft, title, description. Ha ha ha. So we has some stuff. We are getting some stuff. So this kind of component album artwork, what we want is, I guess, something similar. We don't want any kind of like add to playlisty stuff, but we're going to want like the title and all of that stuff. So let's come outside of that and let's create a new one, and we're going to say create a new component, and we're going to call it article card. Awesome. And I will grab this album artwork and we are going to replicate some of this. So this context menu, I don't want the context menu. I don't think it's going to be useful for what I need. Why is that? There's a trigger. So content, context menu content. Let's get rid of that first. Then this trigger is literally just wrapping the image. And then we can just delete that, and then just pull this back. Artwork, album artwork. Cool. Don't need any of that. And we don't want any of that. Awesome. So then what we're going to have as props, let's just say the interface is article card props. We are going to have an article, which is going to be some form of object, which we will kind of figure out in more detail. So then we can define props, and we can just say that we are going to say that our const props is going to be define props, and we can say article hard props like that. That we can ignore for now. And then what we could probably do is on mounted, we're just going to say console.log props like that. So then over here, so that album artwork stuff, we will import the article hard from components article hard.view. Then I can grab that, and we will replace that. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Ooh. Hopefully that will work and won't break anything. Missing a key prop. Yeah, I'm trying to get around to that bit, if I'm honest. Failed to import article card. Well, this is the article card, right? Let me delete that because I don't need it. Here's our article card, spelled correctly. That should be working. Let's try and just do the relative path, and let's see if that works. Cannot read properties of undefined reading cover. So then down here, we're just going to say that the aspect ratio is going to be a square. We're not bothered about that bit. And we're just going to say that this is, I don't know, 200 by 200 for now. We're just going to say test, and call it a day with that for now. Album.cover. Where's this album.cover? Nah. Let's just say we'll do this again. So it is there. We are getting something. Let's check the console and see what we are given. We got an object, and this is some form of object. Not really sure what it is. So let's come back to code. Is it going to say in here? I'm not really sure what this object actually is. That's what's kind of annoying. Missing the S in components. Ah, good spot, James. Thank you very much. So let's just go back. Now let's add the S onto there. We got it. We got it. So let's have a look at this, and let's see if this will give us what we want. Component tree, then we've got layout provider, layout default, next page, root of view, transition, base transition, anonymous component, then finding the page. So the articles is an object. like that. And I'm not sure if we can get what we need. Table of contents. That's kind of cool. Children. Okay, so next up, let's come down. Let's give ourselves something to look at here. Let's just start article. Okay. Where are we? Article card. V4 article in articles. What we're going to do, we're going to wrap that and also add an index until I know if I've got some form of unique identifier. Let's just do that. And then we're going to say that the article is the article and that the key is the index. So we got an article. Perfect. I wonder type of top start article. Let's see if it tells me what it is. Okay, it's coming through as an object. That's not super useful. I'm going to ignore that for now. Let's maybe move back a level and say, I don't know, articles.map article console.log type of article. Let's see if it tells me a little bit earlier on. Missing semicolon. Oh, thank you. I have a coffee from the wife. Always enjoy it when she brings me coffee. Okay, so okay, it's just literally coming through as an object. It would be nice if I could tell if it was like a specific type coming from the content itself. TypeScript support. Let's go have a look. Typing property. Query content. We'll retrieve that. Type augmentation. Markdown specific types. Interface article. Okay, so I can do some stuff. But right now it's maybe not quite ready for what I want. So for now, we're going to do this, and let's do like prop.article.title. Test article. I managed to get that. Then props.article.description. Excellent. So I am able to get some stuff. So maybe what I need to do is like just create an interface for the article and say that we have got a title, which is a string, a description, which is also a string. I believe then we've got body, which is something else. So then this maybe I can just type as an article and things won't die on me. Awesome. So now I can come back and look at rendering content. So inside pages and slug, so we could go over to pages. We could maybe create a folder called articles, and inside there, ... slug. Cool. So I know the naming convention. We can create a new page, and we're going to call that ... slug.view. So image. all of that. So let's just no, undo. What we kind of want, we want this whole thing to be a link. I'm wondering if that's going to cause issues. Grab that, replace that, and we're going to say that to articles slash here we go. Oh, we're getting there. Props.article.slug. So this should also have a slug as a string. Now let's go have a look, see if it dies. Okay, so let's focus in and come over to everything like that. And let's have a look at this card and see what we have got. Anonymous component, let's collapse that. Here's our view there. Inside tabs, tab content, some presence, primitive. I'm looking for like the article card, so come on, let's. Article card, props, article. So, it does have an ID, which is great. And we do have path. Okay, so ID is a string, and then path is also a string. So over here we can say we want to go to props.article.path. Inspect it a second. Oh, it's not giving me it. Okay. Still trying to get it undefined. So let's come back to the components and let's look for that article card. So let me just go back to content, and we were going to rename this. Rename. So there's our article. We're now coming back down to here, and the path is there. Body is an object. Got to be able to get something. Got to be a nice way to like link to it. Content renderer, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I've not used this in such a long time. Really haven't. So I can do all of that, order all of that, partials. So let's just say link, components usage. No. Markdown anchor links is fine. That's going to do all of that stuff. Okay, I think we just have to figure some of this out, right? Maybe that's something like that. And then over here, we're just going to have a look at that. So there we go. Okay, so we did get it. So let's go for code, and now we can just say that this is actually just pops article path. We got there. Got there. So then this, if you click, we'll go to a whole new page. It'll transition. It's looking good. And then that will just be filled out over time. So that's our article props, blah, 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 article props. We'll worry about an image later. That's going to do all of that stuff. So then on this bit here, we are going to want to basically, let's accept the props. There's got to be a way content doc. So let's just use that. So then if we come over to here, this is a markdown. Okay, cool. So come back to code. What we could do is script setup, TypeScript, use that. Not that one. I can never remember it. Not app config. Come back to code. Arc second, and let's go and have a look at this. And we're going to search for layouts. Do that. And what we can do, use page meta, or define page meta, sorry. So then I can define page meta, and we're going to say that we are going to use the default layout, which I'm hoping does business. Yep, cool. So then what we can do is we can refactor a lot of this so that sidebar actually exists on that home page. Then all of the stuff within there. So let's come back to our layouts default, and we're going to have that sidebar there, which is that one. Script setup lang ps, import that one. Then playlists we also need to import. So let's do that for that for now. That'll do its business, meaning that this sidebar can go. We're also going to want that up there too. So let's come back to default and say that like that. Then we're going to maybe move that into there. And we'll just do that, meaning that I can remove that and pull that back a level, come back to Arc. That is still working, just as I would have wanted. So now I can say that's not needed, that's not needed, and that's not needed. Awesome, we are cleaning up. The path already has article in it, cool. So now I can come down, click on that, I can go view the article, that is all there. This is a markdown content, awesome. Next thing I want to do is, I don't actually know, if I'm honest. I'm literally just figuring it out as I go along. Maybe change that tab heading over here. And we're going to have tabs. Default value is articles. And content for articles. Then this bit currently says listen now, but what we're going to do instead, we're going to say something like latest articles, and we're going to say articles, blah, blah, blah. So then we got made for you down there, messy content. So we're getting somewhere. We've got something that looks half reasonable, and Nuxt is doing its business. I have been streaming for over an hour now. I'm probably going to maybe call it a day there, and we will pick this up again next week, and we'll start looking at super base and how we can start to add all of these other magical things on top. But as you can see, Nuxt is, well, it's come a long way since I last used it. It's just fantastic, to be honest. I don't know what else to say. It's just awesome. To be honest, it is just so good. Let's come back to there. What I want to quickly do is let's just see on this page itself. I don't know what we're getting in as a prop or anything. Okay, good test. I need to dive into Nuxt content a little bit more just to kind of understand what's going on there. And I think there's some refactoring to do as well. Like, I mean, I'm starting to get types littered everywhere. And what I think I'd rather do is have like a types.ts in here and then import them as needed. Then inside components, what I'm also probably going to do is add a index.ts, allow me to export like default as article card from article card like that, meaning that over here I can just say import article card from components like that, and that should string replace is not a function. Okay, so I don't know where that's coming from. But yeah, there's a lot of refactoring I want to do, basically. So maybe I should do it a little bit simpler. Import article card and then just export article card like that. Maybe that might be a little bit easier or nicer to do. But we'll have a look, see what we can do. Import type album, data albums. And yeah, I want to be able to like tidy up this code in a way that it should be done if you were going to build this as a real project. So for now, I'm going to say thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend. I may be streaming next week. I may not be. I'm actually going to be in Croatia recording a video course at work. So I bid you adieu. Stay awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, bell icon, you know, all of that kind of YouTubey stuff. Catch you later. Bye-bye.